What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about 5 tips to be a more successful quarterback. Let's get started. All right, guys, so first things first, we want to talk about mechanics, right? Obviously, to be a great quarterback, you got to have good mechanics back there in the pocket, but it doesn't have to be the same for everybody, right? A lot of people think of it as quarterback mechanics like it must be the same. You must have the perfect L, you must have the perfect 90 arch, and you must come over the top. Everybody's trying to throw the same way, and that's where a lot of coaches go wrong, is they try to teach one method to every single quarterback, and some quarterbacks don't gel well with that. They might not have the right body type, they might have been throwing a different way, and it might be for so long, and it might be counterproductive. So what you guys got, the one key thing I could tell you about in terms of your motion is that don't get caught up in being perfectly here every single time, right? Some guys are here, some guys are maybe a little bit higher, and then they get to this 90, but don't try to always be at this you don't have to always be at this perfect L. Yeah, it looks good, it's a smoother motion, but you watch a guy like, look at a guy like Tom Brady, he's here and the nose is down, right? You look at a guy like Aaron Rodgers, he's got a tighter L, right? He's not at this perfect 90-degree L. Everybody throws the ball differently, but the one thing that remains the same, the one thing that remains consistent, is they have some kind of a backstroke. They don't lift to 90, because when you guys lift to 90, what happens is two things. Either your hips might come through, but this ball's gonna dip behind your head, or this is the more likely one that's gonna happen, you're gonna lift to 90 and this front shoulder's gonna come open and your shoulders are gonna come through before your back hip does. And what happens with that is you lose torque, because the sequence of the throw is front foot, then hips, then shoulders, then football. But when you go here, you get front foot, then you go shoulders before hips, you lose torque and you lose power. So make sure that you get some kind of a backstroke. It doesn't have to be this perfect 90-degree L. All right, guys, so the second thing I want to talk to you about, a second tip that quarterbacks got to be able to do to be able to be successful on the field at any level, is got to be able to understand what the defense is going to be doing, okay? You got to be able to read coverages. You got to be able to diagnose what the defense is going to do before they do it. When you come up to the line, our pre-snap process, we got to have that down, right? We got to be able to have that down. I come up to the line, okay, I got to hit this check, 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 going down this checklist, right? And if you want to get better at reading coverages, check out that link in the description that says how to read defenses, where you get access to 100+ defensive coverage breakdowns, where I take you through that pre-snap process of who to identify, what to look for, how to determine which coverage is which, and how to attack that coverage. Hope to get you guys on that soon. Learning coverage is one of the most important things, especially a younger quarterback, or especially if you're new to the quarterback position. You need to be able to understand the mental side of things and the reason why certain plays work, right? Anybody could come out here and make all these fancy throws, but if you don't know the reason why, you don't know the situation when to use that, you're not going to be able to apply that in the game. Check out that link in the description, how to read defenses. Hope to get you guys on that soon. All right, guys, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is throwing off platform, okay? So maybe when your feet aren't set and you got to make this throw, you see guys like Aaron Rodgers do this frequently, you see Sam Darnold starting to do it a lot, and really any quarterback in the NFL, you're going to have to make these off-platform throws. So the thing I want to tell you is that you need to work those throws, or maybe you're here and you got a dig coming from the right side and you shuffle without getting your feet set, you turn your shoulders and you fire. If you want to check out more off-platform mechanics, just look at some of my previous videos on this channel for under the quarterback playlist. But when you're off-platform, you got to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. You see a lot of these guys making these big, long off-platform throws. Now, you might not ever make that throw, but you see guys all the time, Drew Brees, working those feet, they're not set. You hit a check down, you hit a drag, you hit a little out route. You want to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So one thing I could tell you is work those off-platform throws. Your feet don't always have to be set where maybe you're drifting and you got to throw this thing quick, where you keep your hips level to the target, rotate your shoulders, and trust your hands at this throw. All right, guys, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is throwing on the run and what you shouldn't do in terms of where you're holding this ball, right? A lot of guys like to come out on the run, and on a sprint out, it isn't as big of a deal, I would say, because you can kind of prepare and there's timing to the throw. But when you're working an escape drill, you don't ever want to have to be here, and when you're throwing to the left or the right, you load up and then throw, right? Like I'm coming out on the run, I have this ball on a good ball carriage, and I load up, and then I throw this thing on the run, right? Because that load is wasted motion. So what you guys got to be able to get comfortable with is being able to come out on the run. I have this ball in my nice normal ball carriage, like when I drop back, I'm relaxed, and being able to just have quick hands and get this thing out of your hands as you're running, right? A drill you guys can do to work on that is when you're just warming up, all you guys do is you have your feet together and you just step with the right leg and come through and throw, and you swing your left leg through. It just gets you used to that habit of having that quick trigger, not loading, stepping, and then throwing, having this thing nice and relaxed by your chest. You fall into it, and then you throw. So that's something that you guys can do on the run to be a more elite quarterback, to be a more successful quarterback, is not loading up and not having wasted motion, because especially when you're working drill work, you can prepare for the throw, because maybe there's no pass rush, there's no defense, but when you have a defense there, those windows to hit are small, so you got to be able to have this thing right by your chest or wherever you hold this ball when you drop back, and you have a quick trigger to get this ball out of your hands. All right, guys, so the last thing we're gonna be talking about today is RPO, and especially in today's game, this is something that a lot of quarterbacks need to be able to do, right? You wanna be like kind of like a 5-tool quarterback, right? You wanna be able to throw from the pocket, you wanna be able to do RPO, you wanna be able to escape, make off-platform throws, and extend the plays and be able to throw on the run, right? So RPO is something that you have to do, in my opinion, in this day and age, especially in the new age offenses that you're gonna be seeing. So a couple, like 2 tips that you can do for RPO. We gotta make sure that we're a salesman first, right? We gotta be able to sell this fake. So when you sell this fake, like let's say we're at this offset formation here, and I do this and I extend this ball back. You don't want to be tense with your elbows, and you don't want to grab the threads on the ball, because if you grab those threads on the ball, you're already predetermining that you're going to throw this thing, and a good linebacker is going to pick up on that, right? That was a tip that I learned when I was real young from an NFL backer. He was telling me that if I'm on play action, if the quarterback's going back here, or if it's a run fake and he's grabbing the threads, I ain't biting on the run, because nobody hands the ball off like that. We want to hold the back half of the ball, extend. Now you make this fake with your legs and with your hips. You ride this thing all the way through, and then you're getting the threads or getting the grip, whichever grip you have. Don't be messing around to get the threads. And when you decide to make this throw, focus on keeping your hips square to the target, just closing your shoulders, trusting your hands, and trusting that follow through to give an accurate shot, right? You don't want to be here and then waste time by setting your feet if we don't have to. We can make this throw with my feet just in the grass. I'm here, keep my feet in the grass, just work my shoulders and let it fly. So you make that fake with your hips, don't have your hand on the threads, back half of the ball, you find a grip, doesn't need to be the threads, close those shoulders, keep your feet in the ground, and get that ball out on time. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to get better at reading coverages, check out that link in the description that says how to read defenses. 100+ breakdowns plus 16 new breakdowns every single month. If you guys have any questions, please leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.